What's poppin', y'all? As we continue to get developments in this Drake saga that we're all tuning into, which as much as people want to say, yo, he fell off or his time is coming to an end, we're still paying attention to everything that's happening. But some people will say the most enjoyable parts are the come up and the fall off. While you're hot, it's not too enjoyable, not too much is going on. It's like, okay, he's winning. It's year 6, he's winning. It's year 12, he's still winning. But then they're like, oh, shoot, year 14, I'm just randomly making up numbers. I'm not actually counting it up. But year 14, 15 is actually pretty accurate when it comes to Drake. But you're like, all right, year 15, okay, month 1, this is what's happening. Oh, beef. Oh, month 2, it's not looking too hot. Month 3, it's still going on. But one thing I didn't expect was for Future to come out, who was part of We Don't Trust You with Metro Boomin, which kicked off the next level of this beef. I wouldn't say it kicked off the beef, there's always been issues, but this really sent everything up in the air with Like That, and then We Don't Trust You too. And Future was alluding to things that he didn't mess with Drake. But we're getting a version of Future that I have never seen before, which is Future kind of copping please. I'm gonna play you guys this academics clip, and I really wanted to have this conversation because this happened already maybe like a couple weeks ago, but I never got into it and gave my thoughts on it, which are timeless. I'm not patting myself on the back or anything, but I feel like this is a conversation we can still continue to have because their relationship is in an odd position right now, similar to The Weeknd and Drake's position, where they don't mess with each other, but they're not actively beefing. And Future is trying to say, hey, I never had any problems with him. So I'm gonna play that clip for you guys right away.
And by the way, I've also further heard that even with Drake and Future, even though they haven't spoke, it's not that, it was never that deep. I heard that allegedly. Now I don't know if this is true. This is one I'm like, yo, if this ain't true, shit, I'm skeptical of it too. They saying Future claim he ain't know that Kendrick was gonna diss Drake on motherfucking Like That. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, chat. I don't know if that was true. But that's what supposedly is the thought.
So that was the clip, which just gives us some context. However, there was an interview that they did, and by they, I mean Future and Metro Boomin, where Future addresses this, and he says, there was a beef when they got asked about the beef. I didn't even know there was a beef. I didn't know they had nothing going on. I ain't never participated in rap battles, man. We know that. And this is what's important to get into in the next part. And then he says, I'm supposed to be the one who gets mad, and this is in reference to the Big 3, It's Just Big Me line by Like That, which Future claims to have not known about before it dropped. I'm still confused about that. Nobody cares what I think. That's what was so effed up about the stuff, to the point where I'm so player that I ain't even said anything about how I feel about it. Like, why is everybody mad when he was talking about me on my song? So y'all just forget about me. I ain't part of this Big 3. No, you're not. I'm nobody on my song, man. If I didn't get mad, nobody should have gotten mad. If I would have been really mad about it and I made something out of it, then someone else could be like, oh, I can make something else about it. And this is where we got to address it. He says, oh, I never had no rap battles. Future is not, you're not going to be part of the Big 3 if you're not rapping. That's just what it is. Future is, he's kind of like a Travis Scott, right? We're not considering Travis Scott top 3, even though Travis Scott is arguably more popular doing bigger shows than J. Cole. Kendrick Lamar, possibly. I don't know about the most recent year. Things have changed up. But Travis Scott's music is doing more numbers than both of those guys. But we're not calling Travis Scott part of the Big 3 because Travis Scott don't be rapping like that. And I would even say Future as well. He's consistent, but we put him in the separate category. And it's not that he's not a rapper. It's not that he's not one of the most successful rappers. It's not even that he's not one of the rap artists that makes some of the best music. It's just that when we start getting into this conversation, you've got to rap. Like, you've got to rapidy rap. As much as that doesn't matter to commercial success anymore, it still matters when we're having this conversation within the context of hip hop. So I think that's an important thing to note. And I will say that the whole, it's F the Big 3, it's just Big Me, I think that wasn't even, well, it was a little bit of a level higher when he said smoking on your top 5, which he did on the Baby Keem song years ago. So Kendrick Lamar has been trying to bait for a response for a while, and it wasn't until Like That it really got Drake to say, all right, you know what, I'm about to put these gloves on, lace these gloves up, and step in the ring, which props to Drake. We still got to give him props for doing that. That first 2 weeks of the beef where he was just taunting Kendrick, drop push-ups, I feel like push-ups is a bit of a forgotten track, but historically, it's such an important part of this entire beef, and I still love that song. and the impact that it had, it really built up the storyline for Kendrick Lamar to come out and either perform or completely crumble under pressure, which we know he did the former, definitely not the latter. So with Future, he had to know. There's no way a song is getting released on Metro Boomin's album with a verse that he didn't know about. Because at this point, then Future should feel some type of way towards Metro Boomin. Because if Metro Boomin knew about the verse and Future didn't, and Future is cool with Drake, or there was a bit of a rift between them, you could say, but there was still no public issues. Metro Boomin knows how that looks to Drake with Future. And that really just leaves this weird position, especially he was playing into the "we don't trust you." I do think this is the right move for Future. Future's just the cool, chill guy. He doesn't really beef with people. The last beef we saw Future have was with Young Thug, if you guys remember that. That's the last one that I actually remember. And that was just a quick back and forth before things were rectified rather quickly. So maybe Future is keen on getting back cool with Drake, but I think he provided a different perspective, which is how some of these other artists that don't get put on, I wouldn't say put on the same pedestal, but don't get the level of respect that a Kendrick Lamar, a Drake, not even Future, a J. Cole get, and how do they feel about that? And we got a little bit of an inkling into Future, who doesn't really say much. He's kind of like this robot that just spits out good music here and there. Now, some people say, man, here and there, he's really consistent. Listen, when you talk about smash hits by Future that are consistently replayable, he drops them here and there. It's relatively consistent, but it's not like he's just spitting out hit songs left and right. And I would say Future is a more projects-based artist for sure. Like, he's had his hit singles, and he's had hit singles pretty consistently too. And that's why people like Drake had to tap in with him. But to see somebody like that, it's interesting, his perspective, because what perspective does Travis Scott have when people are talking about the top 3 or the top 5 or big 3, or even let's just say top 5, and he's not mentioned in the conversation? I wonder if Travis Scott feels any type of way, or if Travis Scott just understands himself as like, hey, I'm kind of this more fashion, sneakers, rage, style, performance type of rap artist that I don't really care to be compared to these guys. Now, if and I would say Travis Scott considers himself a lot more of a performer than a rapper. Now, if people are saying that Travis Scott isn't top 5 performers, then I think he would definitely feel some type of way, as he should. Like, Travis Scott's performances have only gotten better since 2015, when he really first went on that tour, the rodeo tour, which kicked everything off, and he's consistently tried to get better and better. So for somebody like that, yeah, performance is definitely his skill set. Now, a Future, for example, who makes great music, I don't even think people are putting him in a conversation when we start talking about performers. I've never seen a Future performance. If you have, like an actual Future tour, not some club walkthrough or something like that. Well, he has done sets at Rolling Loud. But let's just say an actual Future show where he does his own set, he's the headliner. If you've been to a concert like that, let me know. Was it good? Was he a good performer? Was he a decent performer? Was he one of the top performers in hip hop? That's something that we don't really hear talked about too much. But I do think the angle that Future took here was good. I wouldn't consider it completely cop and please. I think it's him not saying anything this entire time gave him the opportunity to, I can't even say plausible deniability, but it gave him the opportunity to leave the door open and get back cool with Drake, because he didn't amplify anything that Kendrick Lamar was doing while that was going on. And some were saying that Kendrick Lamar kind of used this opportunity to make them look like it was 20v1, and then that's why he hopped back and did his own thing, because he didn't want to involve these guys and he wanted to go 1-for-1 with Drake, which I liked from Kendrick Lamar's behalf. But with Future, I think he just didn't know what kind of response to drop until now, which it made the most sense to do this response because they had a wildly successful year. And you could even talk about how the beef kind of dwarfed their album, like the attention on their album, or the duration of the attention on their album. Because there was a ton of attention on it, but it was mainly Drake and Kendrick Lamar type of attention. Whereas I feel like if that beef didn't happen this year, that album would have lasted a lot longer. The album did last, right? We got a hit song like that out of it. The deluxe performed well. But I just feel like we shifted the conversation instead of continuously talking about like, yo, Future and Metro are going crazy this year. They've had a wild year into Drake, Kendrick Lamar. And that's something that other people have complained about as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Future and Drake will get back cool? Personally, yeah, for sure. Just for music purposes, it benefits both of them financially. I don't think they were ever really tight, like boys like that. I mean, they did say FBG, OVO, but how cool are they? The only people I think Drake is genuinely cool with is Cash Money, like Birdman, Lil Wayne, the other group, not Rap A Lot. Jay Prince and them. I think he's really, really cool with them. And his Toronto boys. In that order, like 3, 2, 1. I would say they're tied, Prince and Cash Money. He's definitely really, really close to Cash Money. But his Toronto boys, that's it. Everyone else, the way I look at it, Drake is just like, okay, how much are these guys benefiting me? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.